Hey Messiah Junior High, this is Mr. Justin here. I'm coming to bring you our first lesson for Discovery Time this year, and I am really excited to be able to give you guys this. I am looking forward to getting to know you guys in our junior high class this year, um, and I'm just even though this is a bit of an unusual format, we're not able to gather in person. I still want you to know that I'm excited for this year, and I can't wait to get to know you guys in our class. So with that, let's talk about what our Bible text is for this week. So our Bible text actually comes from the very beginning of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and all the way through chapter 2, verse 4. And so this is the story of creation. This is the story of the very beginning of the world. And the very beginning of the world, I think, is a beautiful story, and I love reading about God's creation. I love reading about how God created the world in 6 days and then rested on a seventh day. Um, you see in this passage, you see how God made a day for creating light and darkness, and He made a day for creating the sea and the sky, and the birds and the creatures that walk on the earth, and made a different day even for mankind. Made an entire day just to make mankind. I mean, how amazing is that? Um, and He all called these creations good, and He even called man's creation very good. When He made man on day 6, He even called creation very good. And then He took His seventh day to kind of rest from creating for 6 days. And that's why we have our 7-day week even. So the story of creation, I think, brings a special significance to my mind, because one of the things I really enjoy doing is I really like going on walks and riding my bike through the neighborhood, and just, we have a lot of forest trails in my neighborhood not too far from here, and I love riding past the trees, and I love riding past all of the plants that I see, and there's just so many amazing details that you can see. Like, you pick up 2 different leaves and you see these different patterns on them, and they're different kinds of, and there's all different kinds of leaves on these trees, and you just look at every single thing as unique, and it's incredible to think about how God took these creation days to really put detail into His creation, to really put thought and intelligence into His design. And it's just amazing to me that we get to see that on a daily basis, and to get to notice these things every day, and even just the small details in our lives are amazing to me, because God just took the time to do it. God took a whole week to make everything that we see, and really put this intelligence into it. So that's one of the reasons why the creation story is really powerful for me. And I see it also as the beginning of all of our stories. I see it as God creating all of us for a purpose. He spent a whole day on mankind for a reason. We all have a purpose in life. We all have something that God created us to do. And I think that the creation story rings special to me because it's the beginning of that story. Without creation story here, no one begins. No story begins. And we all have a story in our own lives to tell. And God may still be writing your story. God still may be creating your story. I know He's still creating mine. I mean, my story is not over. I know. And I know that God's still doing work in my life as an adult. And it's amazing to me to see Him working in many areas of my life, both personally and with ministry. So it's really great to see the different ways that God works in our lives and continues to be in our lives, even though creation was a long time ago. I think we can still gain a significance from it because of that. So and I think that one last point I want to make is just that how amazing it is that God wants to just be amazed with us. If you ever made like an art project, or built a science fair project, or I had some students last year actually that had built a bunch of different levers and contraptions and machines for a science competition we did, and they really loved it. They got to take their creation to a competition and really just hold it up to these judges and just see how they did. And whether they won or lost, it was like they still were marveled at their own creation. And I like to think that that's how God sees us. It doesn't matter how we stack up to everybody else. What matters is that He created us and we're beautiful in His eyes, and we're good in His eyes because we're His creation, and that's why He loves us. So for the kind of bridge that into our discussion question for this week, what is this creation thing to you? Is this a one-time event, or do you see this as God still creating? And if you see God still creating, then where do you see Him creating? Where do when you see a seed planted and you get a big tree come up from it, do you see that as a new creation? Is that God still creating? Or like my example, when when you're being taught things in your life and God is working in your life, to teach you a lesson in your life, or to show you something or keep growing you, is that a form of creation? And then also for our second question, where is God creating in your life? Where do you see God trying to teach you something and trying to help you grow? And those are two things I just want us to think about this week. And as you go through your week, I really challenge you to, read that Bible text that I told you about, and then just really take time to notice God's creation this week. Take time to really see what's around you and appreciate the beauty of God's creation as it is in our lives every single day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Can't wait to bring you more lessons this year, and have a great week. Bye.